Get lost. Yes, master. Mingshi Yin immediately swallowed the words on the tip of his tongue and ran out of the pavilion. A bitter expression appeared on his face. It seems like my achievements have to be befitting of the type of weapon I want. He felt his heart wrench when he recalled the broken knife. Old Fourth. Who's that? Mingshi Yin asked irritably. He was not in a good mood at this moment. Duan Musheng appeared, brandishing the Overlord spear. Old Fourth, come spar with me. Look at my Overlord spear. T-Third senior brother, I have something I need to attend to. That won't do. You're the only person in the entire Evil Sky Pavilion who can spar with me. Pan Zhong and Zhou Jifeng aren't enough. I can't even get a good exercise out of them. Duan Musheng walked over and patted Mingshi Yin's shoulder. Mingshi Yin's eyes darted around as he said, Master has ordered me to interrogate Fan Xiuwen today. It's related to the Fish Dragon Village incident. Senior brother, why don't you spar with little junior sister? Speak of the she-devil. Little Yuaner sailed through the air and landed on a branch above their heads. I'll tell Master two of you are bullying me. As soon as she finished speaking, she left. Duan Musheng frowned. He said with a sigh, You can interrogate Fan Xiuwen later. It'll only take a moment. He patted Mingshi Yin's shoulder again. As senior brother, be gentle. Shortly after, the sounds from a one-sided fight could be heard from behind the mountain. After all, Duan Musheng was already capable of suppressing Mingshi Yin before he possessed the Overlord Spear. Now that he possessed the Overlord Spear, there was no question about the outcome of the fight. Meanwhile, Zhou was about to study the heavenly writing again when Liu Yuaner came running into the Great Hall. Master, Jiang Aijin has sent a letter. Read it. Little Yuaner retrieved the letter from her pocket and read out loud. It's the palace's intention to weaken the Black Knights. There's no need to fear retaliation from the palace, old senior. Zhou felt suspicious. The emperor had direct command of the special troop. Why would he want to weaken them? Little Yuaner continued reading. You wanted to investigate the truth behind the Fish Dragon Village's incident, but I'm sorry to say that I, the know-it-all, know nothing about this as well. However, the emperor is certainly not the mastermind. She gritted her teeth when she read the letter. It said that the Fish Dragon Village of Measure Heaven River holds many secrets. Officers can still be seen patrolling the area every now and then. This is a top-secret archive, and it can't be accessed. By the way, I'm throwing in 2 pieces of information for free. 1. The sword freak, Chen Wenjie, has been killed by Yu Shangrong. Didn't I tell you he would die soon for being ambiguous with his stance? 2nd, Rin Buping, the Master Fiend Temple, has come out of isolated cultivation. He has gone to the Green Jade altar to meet the righteous sect. Also, please don't forget about the sword you promised me. Ha ha ha. Zhou was only interested in the Fish Dragon Village for now. He did not care about other matters. He was suspicious of the information he heard. There are officers patrolling the Measure Heaven River's Fish Dragon Village even now? If Jiang Aijin called such a minor detail a top secret, things are clearly more complicated than they seem. Officers patrolling the area? Little Yuaner saw her master deep in thoughts. She wanted to speak, but did not dare to. Zhou looked up and saw little Yuaner swallowing her words, so he asked, Is there something else? Master, if I tell you, you mustn't blame me. Little Yuaner hugged Zhou's arm, trying to act like a spoiled child. If it were in the past, she would not have dared to do this. This was a clear sign that Zhou had changed little Yuaner and had influence over her. I'll slowly teach her. I just hope that she doesn't wander down the wrong path in the future. Zhou shook his head. What am I thinking about? When little Yuaner saw her master shaking his head, she said excitedly, I knew you won't blame me, master. I want a heaven-grade weapon as well. Something like the Overlord Spear. I want a big and majestic weapon. Zhou knocked little Yuaner's head before he chided. How many times do I have to tell you that your cultivation base is too weak to handle a heaven-grade weapon? We'll talk about this when you're in the nascent divinity tribulation realm. Really? I always keep my words. Little Yuaner giggled and said, I'll break through to the nascent divinity tribulation realm soon. Compared to Zhou's other disciples, Liu Yuan'er's loyalty was the highest. She was also frequently by his side. Naturally, he wished for her cultivation base to be higher. Before his cultivation base was restored, Liu Yuan'er was his greatest strength. She was inexperienced in worldly affairs and naive. Compared to the other disciples, she was much easier to educate. When Lu Zhou thought about his disciples, he willed the mission board to appear. His main mission was still to discipline these villains. Duanmu Sheng, Ming Shiyin, and Zhao Yu's loyalty points were not too bad. He could still handle the difficulty of disciplining them. The problem lay with those who had left the evil sky pavilion. The difficulty seemed insurmountable for those who had left. Old Eight's cultivation base was the lowest, so there was no need to worry too much. He was only relying on his moniker, the Evil King, to intimidate people on the streets. His intimidation worked very well since he was a disciple from the Evil Sky Pavilion. Old First, Yu Jinghai, Old Second, Yu Shangrong, and Old Seventh, Si Wuya, these three were the ones giving Lu Zhou a headache. Not only did they possess terrifying heaven-grade weapons, but their cultivation bases were profound as well. Moreover, they were not alone. They had helpers who were as strong as the Black Knights. Thinking about this, he found himself missing Ji Qindao's peak form card. If I have countless peak form cards, I can fearlessly roam the lands. Pavilion Master Zhou Jifeng came in at this moment. He cupped his hands together and said, Mr. Yi Qianxin is awake. She wants to see you. Yi Qianxin was imprisoned in the South Pavilion. Without Lu Zhou's order, no one dared to let her out. Even the female cultivators from the derived Moon Palace did not dare to do such a thing. Golden Court Mountain was short on hands recently, and they were used as general workers. The female cultivators did these tasks willingly as well. It was a much better option than being confined in the cold cave of reflection. I refuse, Lu Zhou said coldly. Understood. Zhou Jifeng cupped his hands together and left. With her master's promise, Liu Yuan'er was suddenly motivated to work hard, so she left to cultivate as well. When Lu Zhou saw that he was finally alone, he focused on comprehending the heavenly writing. It was almost dusk when Zhou Jifeng walked into the Great Hall again. Pavilion Master, Yi Qianxin says that she'll continue to kneel until you come and see her. She's kneeling at the exit of the South Pavilion. Let her kneel then. Understood. Zhou Jifeng left. Lu Zhou did not remain in the Great Hall. He went into the hidden chamber and continued to focus on studying. Dispose of your distracting thoughts. Empty your heart and mind. When morning came, Lu Zhou finally stopped studying. He felt refreshed. The freshness he was experiencing was much better than having a good night's rest. He stood up and moved his limbs, but everything seemed normal. Maybe the extraordinary power has taken effect, but I've yet to discover it. In any case, it's becoming clearer and clearer that comprehending the heavenly writing is truly beneficial to me. At this moment, a soft voice rang from the other side of the door. Pavilion Master, what's the matter? Lu Zhou responded as he clicked the button to open the hidden chamber's door. Yi Qianxin has been kneeling for the entire night. Lu Zhou waved his arm and said, Let her be. There's no need to report this to me. Understood. Zhou Jifeng left again. Ding. Punishing the evil disciple, Yi Qianxin, rewarded with 100 merit points. Lu Zhou noticed the system notification had used the word punish and not discipline. Although the hatred points had vanished, the loyalty points were not satisfactory. If he was not thorough in meting out punishments, he would not be fit to bear the title of the Patriarch of Evil Sky Pavilion. When Lu Zhou finally entered the Great Hall, Ming Shiyin was already there. He saw Ming Shiyin's face was swollen and bruised. He decided it was too much of a hassle to ask Ming Shiyin what had happened, so he only asked, How did the interrogation go? Ming Shiyin bowed and said, Fan Xiuwen is truly stubborn. If I didn't recall your words, Master, I would have resorted to torture. The Black Knights are also experts in torture. It's expected that we can't get anything out of him by interrogating him. Lu Zhou was not surprised by the outcome. Should we just kill him then? He's no use to us alive anyway, Ming Shiyin said. Lu Zhou waved his hand and said, There's use for him yet. an 8-leaf nascent divinity tribulation realm expert, would certainly give him many merit points. However, if he had to choose between finding out about the incident's mastermind and the secret behind the Fish Dragon Village, Zhou felt that the latter was much more valuable. Mingshi Yin. Yes, Master. I hereby order you to investigate the Fish Dragon Village at Measure Heaven River. Remember, don't act rashly. Zhou said this imposingly. Compared to before, Mingshi Yi was not as delighted. He only responded respectfully, Yes, Master. Initially, Zhou wanted to lend him a mount, but he thought it would be too flashy and attract too much attention. For this reason, he dismissed the idea. Mingshi Yin was a nascent divinity tribulation realm cultivator after all. 8 hours were all he needed to reach the Fish Dragon Village from Golden Court Mountain by flying. Since the Fish Dragon Village was heavily guarded, how did Yi Qianxin investigate this matter when she left Golden Court Mountain back then? I'll have to ask the rascal about this. Zhou shook his head. He walked down the stairs and went to the South Pavilion. When he arrived, he saw Yi Qianxin kneeling on the ground from afar, looking extremely weak. Yi Qianxin opened her eyes. When she saw Zhou, strength seemed to surge through her body. She adjusted her posture and greeted him, and Master? Zhou glanced at her indifferently before shaking his head. You're not my disciple. Zhou could see the remorse in Yi Qianxin's eyes. Unfortunately, it was too late. Yi Qianxin thought Zhou had finally relented and came to see her, so she was happy when she saw him. However, Zhou remained cold as he said, I have questions for you. You only need to answer them. Yes, Mas. Understood. Yi Qianxin was about to address Zhou as master, but she quickly swallowed the word. When did you investigate the Fish Dragon Village? Yi Qianxin was taken aback by this question. She thought that her master would give her a thorough scolding. She did not expect her master to be more interested in the Fish Dragon Village. Many emotions surged in her heart at this moment. After giving it some thought, she decided to answer honestly. The 10th year after I left the Evil Sky Pavilion. How did you access the local and palace's archives? Some of the sisters in the Derived Moon Palace were female guards in the palace. They're familiar with the rules of the palace and the internal layout. They helped me get my hands on the archives, but it took 5 years, Yi Qianxin said. She spoke lightly as though it was insignificant. Zhou was surprised that Yi Qianxin had spent 5 years just to access the records in the archives. Based on this, he could see how determined she was. Yi Qianxin continued to say, Perhaps the annihilation of the Fish Dragon Village is only a small matter in the eyes of the nobles in the palace. However, the few hundred villagers... She choked up with emotions at this point. Zhou asked nonchalantly, Is that why you hate me? When Yi Qianxin heard this, her mind went blank. She had been slightly invigorated earlier, but she seemed to wither when she heard Zhou's question. Zhou did not wait for her to reply and continued to ask, Did the Derived Moon Palace go to the Measure Heaven River before? Yi Qianxin replied, The Derived Moon Palace did visit Measure Heaven River several times. The palace had said that there were many other tribes in the area, but the Derived Moon Palace found no members from the other tribes throughout their years of investigations. It seemed like Yi Qianxin was unaware that she was a Bai. However, in Zhou's memories, the Bays did not seem to be a genuine other tribe. They were a unique ethnicity among Great Yan's human race. Otherwise, the Bays would not dare to live around Measure Heaven River. Clearly, the palace was using the other tribes as a pretext and excuse. When Yi Qianxin saw her master stroking his beard, deep in thoughts, she suddenly kowtowed. I'm willing to accept any punishment, no matter how severe it is. Please punish me, master. There's no need to be impatient. Zhou shook his head as he spoke in a deep voice. I'll naturally punish you for deceiving and denouncing me. The truth behind the Fish Dragon Village incident remains unsolved. Fan Xiuwen might just be a pawn in this. If the culprit is me at the end of the investigation, what will you do? Yi Qianxin was stunned. A sense of helplessness rose in her heart. At this point, she no longer knew who she could trust. Lock her up in the South Pavilion. She's not allowed to leave. Lu Zhou waved his hand dismissively. The two female cultivators from the derived Moon Palace could only nod helplessly and bring Yi Qianxin back. After that, Lu Zhou returned to the Evil Sky Pavilion. On the second day, Lu Zhou attempted to comprehend heavenly writing as usual. As he spent more time trying to comprehend the scrolls, he noticed that the human scroll's contents had increased. However, it was still difficult to understand the human scroll of the heavenly writing. After trying to comprehend it for some time, Lu Zhou thought to himself, I'm feeling good today. Maybe I'll have more luck with the lucky draw. Lucky draw. Ding. Spent 50 merit points on a lucky draw. Thank you for participating. Luck +1. Lucky draw. Ding. Spent 50 merit points on the lucky draw. Thank you for participating. Luck +1. Lu Zhou shook his head. Perhaps he had used up his luck trying to comprehend the heavenly writing. He decided to try again at another time. He could not recklessly spend his remaining merit points after all. He only had one deadly strike card left. He wanted to be able to buy one when the occasion arose. Ding! Mingshi Yin has completed the Measure Heaven River's investigation, rewarded with 100 merit points. Lu Zhou was not at all surprised by this notification. After all, compared to the others, Mingshi Yin was the most reliable in carrying out missions. He speculated that he would be receiving a letter from Mingshi Yin soon about his investigation. Strangely, after waiting for 6 hours, Lu Zhou did not receive any letter. The Evil Sky Pavilion had always employed messenger birds to relay their messages. Messenger birds moved as swiftly as legendary mounts. There was no way the letter would not arrive after 6 hours. Yuan. Yes, Master. Send word to Jiang Aijian. Tell him to assist in the investigation of the truth behind the fish dragon village from within the palace. Tell him that he'll be rewarded with a nice sword if he discovers the truth, Lu Zhou said. Lu Zhou had a feeling that Mingshi Yin was in big trouble. A short while later, little Yuan returned and said with a smile, I've sent word to him, Master. Coincidentally, Zhou Jifeng hurried into the Great Hall. And Mr. Fourth is hurt. Little Yuan exclaimed in surprise. What happened to Fourth's senior brother? Lu Zhou had his suspicions. Mingshi Yin was not hurt when he went to relay the message to the Black Knights. If Mingshi Yin was hurt while investigating the Fish Dragon Village incident, things were clearly more complicated than they seemed. He remained calm as he stroked his beard and said, Where is he now? He's at the base of the mountain. Pan Zhong is bringing him here now. Soon after, Pan Zhong brought Mingshi Yin into the Great Hall. Mingshi Yin's current condition was similar to when he fought fiercely against the Dark Knight, Qin Zhanghe. He fell to his knees and said, I'm glad I didn't let you down, Master. I found some clues in the Measure Heaven River. Continue. There are officers patrolling around the Measure Heaven River's Fish Dragon Village. This has been the case in the past decade. I snooped around the area during the night and made a huge discovery. Mingshi Yin gulped before he said, They seem to be fishing out corpses from the river. Everyone present in the Great Hall was shocked by these words. Put the matter of the other tribes being around Measure Heaven Riverside. There was no need for those people to fish out their corpses from the river. Moreover, they had been doing this for a decade. What's the reason for fishing out the corpses? Lu Zhou asked. I wanted to investigate further, but I accidentally triggered a strange trap and had to hurry back overnight. Mingshi Yin seemed slightly out of breath at this point. Lu Zhou stood up slowly. He descended the stairs to where Mingshi Yin was. Mingshi Yin prostrated himself. This disciple is useless. Lift your head. Lu Zhou's voice was stern and commanding. Mingshi Yin slowly did as he was told. As expected, Lu Zhou saw a black lotus between his glabella. Witchcraft,